Hi, thanks for joining me today in the Carpenter Shop, where we do a little bit of growing, we think about the things of God, we hopefully walk away a little bit stronger. The book of Revelation and chapter 1 verse 8 says this, and it's revelation, not revelations. Sometimes that's a big deal. So Revelation chapter 1 verse 8 says this, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, who is and who was and who is to come, the Almighty. That's a whopper of a verse. And we probably know everything that that verse contains. You've heard it before, the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning, the ending, was and who is and who was to come. All those kind of things we understand about God. But do we really understand those things about God? One of the most popular documentary series ever shown on public television was called Connections, and it was based on the work of a British historian, James Burke. In each segment of the series, Burke explored the development of scientific advancements and showed how things that didn't seem to have any connection at all were connected. And he drew the lines and connected the dots in some weird and unusual ways, like fast food and black holes in space, or cornflakes and Einstein's theory of relativity. And you have to kind of see the show and kind of watch it to understand that. But it wasn't too long ago that someone showed me a book that they had, because anymore there are all sorts of things that people use for diversions in their life. Coloring books are now designed to help you relax as a grown adult and use colored pencils and create these amazing things and these works of art with colored pencils, and you do it for relaxation. See, for a lot of years we just thought that coloring books were the things that kids used. No, there's coloring books now. They're out on the marketplace. There's even Christian coloring books out there if you want to grab one of those. And the idea is it will relax you. It gets you to kind of think, clear your head, and create and tap into that creativity God's placed within you. There also are things out there now that are connect-the-dot books. You remember these things as a kid, right? Where you start with 1 or A, and you just kind of go through and you connect the dots. And you know, by the time it's over with, you have a picture that you made with all these little kind of funky lines that are not quite rounded enough, but you know, you get the idea that those dots, when you connect them, make a big picture. Believe it or not, there are adult versions of that out now. And they're not the little simple, you know, connect these 10 dots and see what you get. They're not like on the back side of the kids menu at a Denny's, where you can kind of connect them in a minute with a broken crayon and then kind of go on and eat your dinner. This is the kind of thing where there are thousands of dots in this thing that you have to start connecting. And they become these massive works that you start trying to figure out along the way, because when you start, you don't know what you're going to end up with. And yet the more that you connect the dots, the picture begins to emerge. And instead of a bunch of dots scattered on a page, there's something there that has some meaning and some purpose and some direction. Believe it or not, God wants us in our life to connect the dots. And that verse where it talks about that He is the beginning and He is the end and He is who was and who is to come, there is something for us that begins to make sense when we start connecting the dots and the events and the moments of our life and try to come back and start connecting those dots to see the picture of what God is doing. Is it easy? No. Does it take time? Oh yeah. Is it a big project? Yep, probably going to take you a lifetime. But here's what I know. If you will connect the dots, you will begin to discover that as a child of the King, as a child of the Creator, as a creation of the Most High, you'll begin to see that things that seem random and insignificant in your life, no, that's just another dot that God is connecting together to something else, to something else, to something else, to come up with a big picture, because He is working on you and you are a masterpiece. So one of the things that you ought to do in life is take a little bit of time and try to connect the dots. You won't get them all. You won't figure it all out. But even in trying to connect the dots, you begin to look for, on purpose, the things that God might be doing even when you don't see it, so that something new can emerge. It's not a bad way to spend life. Not a bad thing to do in your prayer time. Start connecting the dots, and I promise you'll see that God's at work. I look forward to joining you next time here in the Carpenter Shop.